language in the Roman Empire. Latin was spoken in Rome, which was the main language of the empire. Though many in the east, the part which is closer towards the Greek side, they used Greek, and the Romans had great respect for the Hellenic culture. So we can conclude here the official language or the main language in the Roman Empire was Latin, while the other language was Greek. So these were the two main languages which were present spoken by the people of the Roman Empire. They also respected the Greek culture a lot. The Romans had a great respect for the Hellenistic culture. Latin and Greek are the two main languages which were spoken in the Roman Empire. There were changes in the political structure of the empire from the late 1st century BC. It was substantially Christianized after the emperor Constantine became a Christian in the 4th century. So Constantine became or adopted the religion of Christianity in the 4th century CE. So from then, after Constantine has converted himself into Christian and he adopted this religion, it became the royal religion or the official religion. The royal religion or the official religion in the Roman Empire, and Christianity became the official religion from 4th century. Though there were many changes which were happening in the political structure of the empire in the late 1st century, it was substantially Christianized after Emperor the Constantine, who has adopted the religion of Christianity, and he started to practice and follow it. In the 4th century BC, Christianity became the official religion of the Roman Empire. The conflicts. Let me introduce you to the conflicts which were there in the Roman Empire. To make the government easier, the Roman Empire was divided into eastern and western halves in the 4th century CE. You can see here the entire orange shaded part is the western part, and this light purple shaded part, even in the African territory, here you can see this part is west and this part is east. This division is done majorly for the administrative purpose. To make the work of the government easier, you can divide it into different units. Similarly, the Roman Empire was divided into eastern and western halves in the 4th century. But in the west, the western territory, there was a breakdown of the arrangement that existed between the Rome and the tribes in the frontier areas, in the border areas. In the borders, as you can see here, in these places, there were some differences. There was a breakdown of the arrangement between the Roman Empire or the Rome, and as you can see here, the Rome and the tribes who are living in the frontiers, like the Goths, Visigoths, Vandals, etc. So there was a gap between the tribes and the Rome when this arrangement was made. These arrangements dealt with trade, military recruitment, settlement, and the tribes increasingly attacked the Roman administration. As I told you, in the border areas and between the Rome, there was a conflict. So they used to attack the Roman administration regularly. The conflicts increased in scale and coincided with the internal dissensions in the empire. They started to divide the empire into two parts, as you can see the tribal territories also here, the tribes, Fangs, Angles, Goths, Visigoths, the tribal territories. The leading to the collapse of the empire in the west by 5th century CE. In the 4th century, there was a division of the empire west and east for administrative purpose. But the setup was breakdown in the western part between the Rome and the tribes. Due to this, in the 5th century, there was a situation leading to the collapse of the empire in the 5th century, especially in the western part, due to this differences. The tribes established their own kingdom within the former empire, though with the prompting of Christian Church, a Holy Roman Empire was formed from some of these kingdoms from the 9th century. This claimed some continuity with the Roman Empire. As we discussed till now, in the 4th century, the empire was divided into west and east, as you can see here. 5th century, there was intense conflict between the Rome and the tribes in the Western Empire. Now, by 9th century, they have agreed and formed the Roman Empire. The tribals, they converted themselves into Christians. They supported the Christian Church, and with this, the Holy Roman Empire formed with some of these kingdoms from the 9th century CE. In this way, we can claim that there was a continuity with the Roman Empire. By the 7th century and 15th century, from 7th century to 15th century, almost all the lands of the Eastern Roman Empire, the eastern part of the Roman Empire, were taken over control by the Arab Empire, which was created by Prophet Muhammad, who founded the faith of Islam in the 7th century, and they ruled, or their successors ruled initially from Baghdad, which is the present day Iraq capital. So there is a shift from 7th century to 15th century. The entire control on the Eastern Roman Empire territory, the lands, were taken over by the Islamic rulers or the Arab Empire. So by taking control of the Eastern Roman Empire, the Arab Empire was created by the followers of Prophet Muhammad. There were also a close interaction between the Greek and Islamic traditions in these regions, because the eastern part, here you can see the location of Greek or the Greece. So they have a close interaction between them, and they had a trade of networks in the area. Its prosperity attracted the attention of the pastoral people to the north, including the various Turkic tribes who often attacked the cities of the region and established their control. So, Arab territory was established by occupying the Eastern Roman Empire. There was a good interaction between the Greek and the Islamic traditions. The trading network of the area and its prosperity attracted the pastoral people to the north from there, and the tribes often used to attack the cities and the regions of the Arab Empire or the Islamic Empire. The last of these peoples to attack the area and attempt to control were the Mongols. Under Genghis Khan's leadership and his successors, who moved into the West Asia, Europe, Central Asia, and China in the 13th century, So the last people or the tribal communities who want to gain control over the eastern territory or the Roman Empire were the Mongols under the leadership of Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan and his successors have moved towards the western part of Asia, towards Europe, towards Central Asia, and China in the 13th century. All these attempts to make and maintain an empire were driven by search to control the resources, the trading networks that existed in the region as a whole, and to derive benefit from the links of the region, the other areas such as India and China. So, because of the attempts to gain control or maintain large empires, that thought has created a network link and they have benefited from the link with the other areas of like India and China. So they had a good network of links from the Roman Empire to India and to China. To China through land route and to India through the waterways. They have established good trade network links. All the empires evolved administrative systems to give stability to trade. They have also evolved different types of military organizations. The achievements of one empire, let us say Roman Empire, Holy Roman Empire, Islamic empires, or the Mongolian Empire, were often taken up by its successors. So the empires first established their network. First, you should establish your empire. Once you establish your empire, they evolved in the network for trade. Then they evolved in administrative system. Later, they evolved in military. And whatever one empire has achieved, that was continued by the successors. So in general, we are talking about the empires that existed during that period from 7th century to 15th century in Asia, Europe, and Africa. One is the Roman Empire, two, the Holy Roman Empire, three, the Arabic Empire or the Islamic Empire, four, the Mongolian Empire. They have evolved in the territory, they have evolved in the administrative system to maintain stability of trade. They have evolved different types of military organizations and they have achieved some great achievements. These achievements of one empire were often taken up by its successors. The achievements which are made by the Roman Empire and it is succeeded by their successors. Holy Roman Empire, it was continued by their successors. Mongolian Empire, it was continued by their successors. What are the different types of conflicts that were there during the Roman Empire period? Over time, the area came to be marked by Persian, Greek, Latin, and Arabic above many other languages that were spoken and written. So, the areas came to be known with their languages, the Persian language, the Greek language, the Latin language, the Arabic language. The empires were not very stable because the territory is same. The Roman Empire in the 3rd century, 4th century was having in Europe, Africa, and Asia. Later, western part of the Roman Empire emerged as the Holy Roman Empire after they got connected with the tribes. The eastern part of the Roman Empire emerged as Islamic land or Arab Empire. From there again there was a difference from there towards the eastern part and West Asia, it emerged as Mongolian Empire. So the same land was controlled by different rulers over different periods. So later they came to be known as Persian, Greek, Latin, and Arabic, basing on the languages which are spoken by the rulers or majority of the people in that empires. But the point is very clear that no empire was stable. The empires were not very stable. This was partly due to the disputes and conflicts over the resources in various regions. So, why the empires were not very stable? There were disputes among the empires and conflicts over the resources. Who should control the resources? That made them to fight amongst each other, and sometimes they were defeated. So that leads to disaster towards the empire. So the empires were not very stable. It was also due to the crisis that developed in relations between the empires and the pastoral people to the north, from whom the empires derived their support for trade and to provide them labor for production and manufacturing, and also for their armies. So basically, there was a hindrance, there was lack of good relations between the rulers of the empires and the pastoral people. Now, the pastoral people played a very dominant role in the country's trade, labor support, and also army support. When the relations were not good, obviously they make the empire weak because the army needs the support. The labor work for the production needs the support. For trade, for commerce, for the growth and stabilizing the empire, we need the support of these pastoral community people, which was lacking. And when there was a crisis in the relationship between the empires and the pastoral people to the north, there it became a problem for them, and slowly the empires lost the hold over the people. It is worth noting that not all the empires were city centric. The Mongol Empire of Genghis Khan and his successors is a good example of how an empire could be maintained by the pastoral people for a long time with success. So, not all are urbanized or urban cultured or city centric empires. The example quoted for us is the Mongolian Empire, where Genghis Khan, from a pastoral community, was able to control the empire for a very long time with success. Religions that appeal to the peoples of different ethnic origins who often spoke different languages were important in making a large empire. So religions also played a very crucial role where they appealed to the peoples of different ethnic origins who often spoke different languages, were important in making the large empire.